Hey folks, welcome back to another Poem Masters video, and tonight we're having the rerun for the Holiday Rosa and Holiday Siebold banner, right? Because he's not that bad anymore. By the way, I will be live streaming summons when that happens, and for those of you who keep on saying, oh, Bose has all the units in the game, not true. I don't have all the sync pairs in the game. I do not have Holiday Siebold. I did not get him last year. I am going to get my hands on this guy this year. I promise. So tune in for that. It's going to be hype. because this is the last sync pair that I don't have. Anyways, that aside, let's get into today's stuff, right? So, in terms of this banner, right? First of all, it is a dual banner, so we're getting both Holiday Siebold and Holiday Rosa on the same banner, right? They're going to be split rates. I would assume it's probably going to be something like 1.5% each, right? Featured. So anyways, let's get into these units. We'll talk about them first, and then we'll discuss the banner in large. So for Rosanta, Rosanta has good defensive stats, right? It's decent tank stats, all that stuff. 573 HP is not bad. 214 defense, 188 special defense. Special defense not, as good as defense, but it's still not bad, right? Attack is almost worthless, 171, and then 227 speed. As for the moves, it has Aerial Ace, X Attack all the presence, which is charge, gives you move gauge acceleration for your whole team, and then randomly, first raises the speed of all allied sync pairs. So charges the move gauge of everyone as +1 speed, right? And then sharply raises one of these stats on random for your whole team. So yeah, there's that. Two uses, right? And then you got Drill Peck, 3 gauge, move, right? And then your sync move, special delivery, Drill Peck, nothing too special there, no additional effects. As for the passives, Wide Awake, so you don't get, put to sleep. Snow Shelter, don't get hurt by hail, and then Healing Hail, you heal in hail, right? So it does look like to be basically a hail support, right? And it is. The move gauge regen is nice, right? And you get and it's not like the Singsu blue one before the Synchro update, right? It's just move gauge regen, no speed, right? And this one gives you speed as well. So once you run out of move gauge regens, you'd also have some more long term help there with the speed as well. So that's nice. Anyways, let's talk about the Synchrid, which is slightly more interesting because it's an old unit, but the Synchrid is newly expanded, right? So I don't know why I colored all these in. For fun, I guess. But yeah, as for some stuff, you got Hail Rally, small chance of raising the crit of all allied sync pairs when this Pokemon uses a move in Hailstorm. Here's the thing about this passive. It's a bit like 20% chance, not extremely great, right? Unfortunately. And you really don't have too many turns, right? It's just, 3 turns per sync move cycle. Yeah, right? It's good to have. It's definitely a good passive, but it's again, RNG, 20%, right? Stoke 4 is good, right? 50% chance to raise your defense every time you get hit. Hasty Hail charges the move gauge quickly in Hailstorm. On top of all the presents, I mean, how much move gauge regen do you want, right? Speaking of more move gauge regen, Revenge Boost 4, 50% chance of getting an extra move gauge every time you get hit, right? All the presents MP Refresh. This is an MP Refresh 3, so that's nice, right? X Attack all MP Refresh. This is also a MP Refresh 3, so there's that as well. Aerial Ace Mad Strength 4, 50% chance of increasing your attack by 1 when you use Aerial Ace. Then all the presents share the fortune, and this is basically it's like you use like double all the presents, sorta, right? So yeah, it's like using just for the random stat buffs, right? Power Flux 3 if you want, I guess. I mean, this thing's like attack's not that great, right? It's worse than Nate, obviously. The caveat here being Rosanta's a support, Nate's a striker, but still pretty bad. Ice Shell increases your defense by 50% in Hailstorm. That's really nice. Cold Front causes Hailstorm when the Pokemon enters the battle for the first time. And Team Speedy Entry increases speed of all allies when you enter the battle. Cold Front is a bit of a trap. It's a bit of a trap, right? It is almost useless. Almost completely useless. Costs you 15 energy, right? Entering with Hail is not good. It's not good, right? You rarely will be using, like, it's maybe useful for proccing like your Ice Shell for the first 3, turns, right? But mainly, like, your striker, if your striker has any like invigorating Hail or whatever, it's not going to kick in like until at least after their first sync move, because you have to buff first, right? And if you're just wasting the Hail on the time you buff, then you just completely waste the Hail. This is good in co-op, right? But co-op's not like a huge deal anymore, and not that great in single player. So overall, Rosanta it's a decent Hail support, right? It's a decent Hail support. So I'll say this first, right? Before we even get to Christmas Siebold, it's good if you have Summer Steven, right? This plus Summer Steven is fantastic. However, if you don't have Summer Steven, right? I guess you could also use like Tech Lapras or Candace, right? But in general, like, there really aren't like that many ice type strikers that you have to like use Delibird with, right? Because you have to run it in Hail. And the options right now are just not that great. Like, outside of Summer Steven, like, even like Tech Lapras, which is not bad, right? It's still not extremely good either, right? So like, here's the thing. Very, very important point, right? Rosanta is incredibly cute. So if you want to summon for like that factor, and do keep in mind this is once per year, right? It's very, very limited. You could go for that if you want to just get Rosanta because just for collection, because her outfit's incredibly adorable, all that stuff. Okay, but like, if you're looking for, hey, if this gonna help my team that much, the answer is probably not, unless again you have Summer Steven, right? Which is the big one. Outside of that, I really wouldn't touch this, honestly. It's really good in the right circumstances and not extremely useful outside of all that, right? Because if you're like looking for like physical support, do keep in mind like both Phoebe Dusknoir and Hilbert Samurott could very, very likely get a Synchro expansion next month, right? And yeah, or if you're looking for like a gauge support, like, again, you still have Skyla Swan out there, right, with a relatively easy +6 speed potentially, right, or at least +4 with defenses, and the potions, right. It's just, if you're using her outside of Hail, it really isn't that impactful, right? Anyways, that's Delibird. Let's talk about Siebold and Octillery. Can't call him Seabad anymore. It's been a year. It's a bit of a habit now calling him Seabad, but he's not that bad anymore. Not so bad. Not so bad. Anyways, let's go over it. So, the base kit, 555 HP, 195 defense, special defense, 238 special attack, and 183 speed. Upsides, good defenses. Downside, bad speed, bad special attack. HP's not bad either, I guess. As for the moves, Octazooka, 2 gauge, good chance of lowering the target's accuracy. It's not guaranteed, right? Accuracy also really low, but don't have to worry because you have piercing gaze, right? X special defense, which is nice. Scald, moderate chance of burning the opponent as well, right? 3 gauge, decent. Power, let's see, 1 out of 5. How much is the base power over here for Scald? 87. That's not good. But again, you do have a moderate chance of burning the opponent, right? Only the best, sharply raises defense and special attack. So you get both +4 on special defense and defense for Seabad, right? And then you get like +2 special attack. Like, this guy's self buffs are decent. And you do have a hostile environment over here as well to help with the chance of burning the opponent with Scald. So you actually do have a pretty decent chance of burning the opponent with Scald. But obviously, if you're looking at much higher chances, you got Torkoal with Will-O-Wisp, right? Much higher chances in that case. For Dudas 4, 50% chance of raising a random stat for Seabad, which is cool, I guess. As for the grid, right? So we got some stuff here. We got Rising Tide. The more the user's stats have been raised, more it powers up sync move. So it's like a sync nuke sort of thing, except it doesn't matter what stats. You know, you could throw in whatever stats and then you could get that buff. Speaking of sync move damage, Crit Strike 3, which again is usually pretty crucial in you know, some good sync move damage, right? This plus Rising Tide gives you a decent amount on your sync move damage, right? On top of that, it is a water type, so you also get the extra 50% boost in rain, right? This thing could actually dish out some really, really, really good sync move damage. And also, you know, if you want a 6-star EX it, you get that extra, you know, 1.5 times multiplier on that as well, right? The extra one, right? So this thing, again, fantastic sync move damage. Scorcher 2, increased amounts of damage the target takes from being burned. I mean, they don't really take any burn damage anyway. It's not a huge deal, this one. Fortuitous 4, if you want another one, okay. Focus Rush raises crit after using a sync move. It is relatively cheap. It's only 7 energy, but, you know, usually you could, you know, get a, get some crit support. If you can't, then you can pick that up, right? As for some other stuff, move gauge refreshes for everything. MP refreshes, all three, I think, right? Yep, they're all MPR or MGR3. Octazooka Discombobulate, good chance of lowering the opponent's accuracy and target successful. So you have a good, you know, you have a decent chance of potentially even, you know, lowering the opponent's accuracy by 2 when you use Octazooka. So that's nice. Eagle Eye on Octazooka. If you're using Octazooka, you have a 50% chance of raising your crit when you use that as well, right? So it does have some really decent notes on the grid, right? Actually, really really cool notes, right? Burn Synergy 3 if you want that. Dizzying Power, right? More accuracy is lowered, more powers up moves. Steady Aim, crit can't be lowered. What in this game lowers crit again? What lowers crit? I guess like Haze? I don't know. What even lowers crit? On the Ropes 3, that's kind of whatever. So Seabat, you know, is not that bad anymore, right? Because again, you know, first and foremost, you have a very, very good sync nuke, right? Potentially with Octillery, and you also have some really nice stuff here as well, right? With Octazooka Discombobulate 4, you know, you could potentially get -2 on the opponent's accuracy for one Octazooka, right? Although I'd still say Helios is much better for like an accuracy debuffer, right? Just because it's guaranteed -1. It doesn't give you that chance for -2, but it guarantees a -1 at least, right? You know, the stat buffs, all that stuff. You know, add that up with the Rising Tide. You know, a lot of decent stuff here. Dizzying Power plus Burn Synergy 3, those could also, you know, work to do some okay-ish damage with Scald as well. Not going to be, you know, anything crazy, but again, it is water type, so you always get that extra opportunity with Rain as well, right? But overall, I'd say Seabat's, it looks good, but like everything that it does, we have like some other unit that could also do it, right? If you want like a water type sync nuker, right, you have Berry, which is free. Berry's free, right? You can do that. And, you know, obviously Berry's not as tanky, can't do all the other stuff, but Berry could do that, right? If you want an accuracy debuffer, in my opinion, I still think Heliolisk is probably a better accuracy debuffer, right? Overall. So yeah, there's that. If you want to burn something, Torkoal, in my opinion, is also better there, right? So, like, Seabat, also something not extremely necessary. It would be nice to have, but also, again, not necessary. If you, again, like, same thing with Roseanne. If you really, really like the outfit, it is limited once per year. You could go for that. But otherwise, in terms of just, you know, its power, all that stuff, I'm not extremely high on Seabat, even though, you know, again, it got much, much better, right? Not extremely necessary, right? So, in terms of this banner overall, unless you really, really like the outfits, right? Which, again, they're nice outfits, can't deny that. Really like the characters, all that stuff, you could go for it. But otherwise, the very, very niche scenario, if, you know, you have Sandslash, right? Alolan Sandslash, then you can maybe pick up Delibird. But then, on the other hand, you also have Glalie that could also do that job as well, right? Sort of. So there's also that to keep in mind. Although Glalie's like slightly better for Dugong, I'd say, and Rosanta is slightly better for Sandslash. But again, like difference, you know, not a huge deal. over there in Seabad is like it's good. It's all around good, but it just doesn't like have like a specific niche that it really excels really great at, right? So overall, would not recommend the banner, right? Outside of, if you want, if you're a collector or whatever, if you really like Rose Santa, or the holiday Siebold outfits, all that stuff. But outside of that, I'd probably save, because again, keep in mind, Cynthia Steven banner coming, I think next week or sometime, right? Yeah, next week, and then you got Gloria December, and we're getting new holiday units, right? So even if you are going to summon on this banner, I'd probably just wait a bit until like we get some info. Potentially, if we get some info on like the December stuff, right? So hold your horses on this one, even if you are going to summon, right? I'd suggest just wait a bit. So, anyways, that's gonna be this one. I guess hope you guys enjoy. Let me guys think in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video, and our channel for some more Bone Masters content. Keep in mind we will be summoning on this live tonight, and hopefully I could finally get Seabad on my team. So, anyways, yeah, I'll see you guys in the live stream then.